Hello, my name is Rodney Robinson and I'm the administrator for the Facebook group Pendulum, Dowsing and Energy Balancing. And this is the third of my presentation videos on psychic protection. In my last video I talked about the kind of pendulum that you could use, and I mentioned the pendulum itself being a kind of a firewall in terms of protecting you from unwanted or harmful, potentially harmful energies that could come through your dowsing. Because whenever you do dowsing, it is a metaphysical technique. You've heard of the term energy follows thought. So when you put thought out in the form of a decree or a question, that is going out through the different layers, the dimensions, beyond our physical reality. And we want to make sure that we're not going into a part of that non-physical reality that will connect you with energies that are of a low vibrational nature. Now, by a low vibrational nature, I mean low energy emotions, for example, or the negative emotions that you would not want to draw back into yourself. Low consciousness energy, there are energies of emotions and events in the environment floating about there. And we also have the energy, spirit entities and non-human entities around in the environment. All these can be attracted to our practice by the fact that we are putting energy out. So we are acting in the way, in a way of a transmitter. We're transmitting and we're receiving information. So it's a two-way flow of information. And this is the importance of psychic protection. Now, one of the main principles of dowsing, pendulum alchemy, is the principle of resonance. And this is that when you have a particular frequency vibration of energy, that it will connect with similar energies on the non-physical levels. So this is what we want to be putting out, the high vibrational stuff, not the low vibrational stuff. And by doing that, you are practicing psychic protection, because you're very unlikely if you've raised your consciousness, you've raised the frequency of your biofield to a high level, you're not likely to be resonating with low energies. So you're, to a large degree, protected by that. So you have your first layer of protection, which is your protocol, your opening prayers, which I again refer you back to the psychic protection document in the files section. If anybody needs any more psychic protection pendulum decrees, I can provide them, but I'm sure you can think of your own very simple requests for strengthening your aura, increasing the level of your psychic protection to 1,000%, removing the blocks that are preventing over 100% psychic protection. These are all decrees that you can put out there. And, that you can categorize them as prayers, as removal of blocks, or of particular positive affirmations. For example, strengthen and repair my aura so that it is operating at 100% protection levels. So, you don't have to be too fancy about this. You can think about what you want to achieve, make it into a positive affirmation statement, spin your pendulum and state it. Okay. I would just add to that a lot of people start their day, me included, with prayer. Prayer to Source, prayer to God, prayer to the Divine. Now, you still have to add that layer of pendulum decree in there after your prayer session. Also, if you do meditation in the morning, because what you can do during those periods, which can be very beneficial, but it can increase the size of your crown chakra, and your crown chakra can then be very open to any passing energies. So that can actually increase your need for psychic protection. So don't just think because you've said your prayers in the morning that it's job done. No, you need to do the check with your percentage chart that we spoke about in the previous video, and you'll check after you've done your decrees to see if it's up there at 100% or more. If it's not, you need to do more decrees. Okay? So this happened to me one day. I got up, I felt fine, felt really as if my aura was strong, felt really good starting the day, but my psychic protection, even after I'd done my opening protocol, was 30%. I would not continue on that basis. And if I hadn't managed to get it up to full strength, I would not have done any dowsing or pendulum alchemy or any kind of metaphysical work for that day. I'd have waited. As it happened, I added some more pendulum decrees, increased my auric strength, increased my psychic protection to the maximum, all these decrees, and I got it very quickly up above 100%, and I was ready to go. But it just shows the importance of checking. So there are risks of this, and of using this sort of pendulum, if we just come back to the pendulum side of things again. And I know there's a lot of people in the group who said, well, I've used a pendulum like that for years, no problem. Well, you may be fine, you may be lucky, you may have had no problem at all. But a lot of this depends on your individual situation. Your own biofield, what state your biofield's in, what states what your mood is in, what kind of events have gone on in your life, because that will determine the energy that is around you, maybe in your home or the room that you work in, your office. Also, are you on an area of geopathic stress? Is it on are you on a ley line? Are there certain energies around you in your location that could be disturbing or potentially of a low vibrational nature, such as a graveyard or a hospital or something of that nature? So it's a complex situation. It's not simple. It's not, I do this so everybody else should be fine with this. No, psychic protection is a serious issue, and I would urge you to take it seriously. And that's why I'm doing a series of these videos, because there are different issues that I'd like to raise in each one. And if you have any questions, please feel free to fire away, and I'll do my very best to answer that. Or if I don't know, then I'll do some more research and get back to you about that. But what I want to say now is that with dowsing, there are different risk factors in terms of what dowsing you're doing. So we have, for example, mental dowsing, and we have mental or psychic dowsing, and we have physical dowsing. Physical dowsing is a little less risky than mental psychic dowsing, because with the latter, you're putting your energy out there above the physical layers into the sort of spiritual levels of reality, into the other dimensions, as it were. And you want to make sure that into those dimensions, you're not plugging in, if I can use that term, to low, dense energies or entities that could then be attracted by the process of resonance to you, your biofield, or your pendulum. So, yes, mental dowsing is where you make a mental question and you watch your pendulum response to see whether it gives you a yes or a no. Physical dowsing is when you use the attunement of your pendulum to pick up on the energies that you're looking for. So an example would be if I use this BG3 pendulum to attune to myself, I start by holding the pendulum at the point where it attaches to the pendulum body. Just tuck the excess string into your hand and then gradually let the cord out. Now I've already attuned this to myself, so I'm just doing this to show you how it works. You let the pendulum cord out until it starts to oscillate over your hand, over the back of your hand. And then when you can put a knotter in the string at that point, because whenever you hold that, you know that's tuned to your own biofield. So whenever you hold that over your hand, it should give you a positive swing. Now, let's say that I'm looking for positive or negative energies in my environment. I'm not going to move around because I'm in front of the camera, but I'll just give you a taster of what I mean. So say I'm looking for energies. I hold the pendulum at that point. I don't need to make any questions because we're talking about physical dowsing. We're just using this as an antenna to pick up on the energies. So because it's tuned to you, you can move the pendulum, and whenever the pendulum swings in a clockwise way, there it goes there, you know that there is energy below that pendulum which is beneficial energy to you. So this is useful to know that this area where my desk is positive energy to me because I spend a lot of time here. But obviously you can also pick up on the negatives as well. So if it starts to go in an anti-clockwise manner, you know that you've got to do something to balance that energy. And that may be to utilize a high vibrational object, or it might need colour. You might need colour cards, or any particular object to find out whether it will balance the negative up. You can use symbols, for example. A very good protective symbol to use around you actually when you're doing dowsing is the Om symbol, particularly if it's in a three-dimensional form on a little stand or something of that nature. It's very protective, and that will raise the vibration of the area around it and give you, again, that extra psychic protection. So that's physical dowsing, and it's of a less problematic, it's a less risky method of doing dowsing. You're not really opening yourself up to it's possible, but it's less risky than, say, mental or psychic dowsing. Now you can also, just for your information, use that technique to find, for example, foods that would benefit you. So once you've tuned your pendulum, you could hold that over something that you're going to eat, say an apple. You can hold it over your food, and it will spin in a clockwise way according to how beneficial that will be to you. And the speed and intensity of the spin will indicate the degree to which that is a positive energy for you, and the same with a negative spin. So if you've got a spin like it's going around like a propeller, fast and wide, then you know that you've got a very, very positive energy. And likewise, if it goes the other way, you know that you've got a negative energy. So that's physical dowsing. Now, I do see in the Facebook group that a lot of people use their dowsing as a spirit board, basically, to contact spirits, and they use letters to get messages. There is really not much difference to using a Ouija board. And so if you're going to do that, then psychic protection is even more important, and closing down at the end of the session is even more important. Again, I'm going to run out of time if I spend too much time on the decrees, but I refer you to the document to be familiar. But I would also urge you to be familiar with the whole process of mediumship if you're going to use your pendulum to contact the spirit world. Because in my mediumship training, it was drummed into me again and again and again, the safety issue of creating a safe energetic space around yourself before you do any spirit contact. And that means creating a safe space by visualization and meditation, and making contact with your spirit guides, particularly what your guide called the gatekeeper guide, who's responsible for only letting through spirits who've gone to the light, and not the low, dense, low vibrational spirit energy that we were talking about before. So there is a whole protocol and a method to this. And if you don't follow that protocol, then you're increasing your risk of problem. The kind of problems that you could occur are disturbance to your dowsing and also disturbance to your health. But I'm going to have to talk about that in the next video because I'm running out of time on this one. But thank you for watching, and we will continue the theme. Thank you.